I smoked a lot and quit a lot, but ended up nowhere. Now I use this.
The Nicoderm CQ patch with unique extended release technology helps prevent the urge to smoke all day.
I want this time to be my last time. That's why I choose Nicoderm CQ.
I'm Keith Hernandez.
I'm Walt Clyde Frazier.
Hold the show.
That gray beard is a no-go.
In 5 easy minutes, put Just for Men in it.
And here's the kicker, your beard will look thicker.
Guys.
How strong is Allegra D?
My congestion's out of my way strong.
Allegra D, a fast, non-drowsy antihistamine plus a powerful decongestant that starts relieving your toughest symptoms in just 1 hour.
It's breathing free for 24 hours strong.
Allegra D, guaranteed or your money back.
I was out for a bike ride. I didn't think I'd have a heart attack, but I did. I'm Mike, and I'm very much alive. Now my doctor recommends a Bayer aspirin regimen to help prevent another heart attack.
Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
People of the coffee drinking world, Dunkin' has a dark roast coffee that's deliciously roasted just right for a bold start and smooth finish that's never bitter. Put down the dark roast you've been putting up with and reach for the one you deserve. America runs on Dunkin'.
I don't believe you.
No way.
How's that possible?
That's crazy.
I don't believe you.
I find that really hard to believe.
I don't know about that.
No way.
2 pairs of glasses for $69.95 with a free eye exam.
I paid way too much.
It's true. At America's Best, we've been selling quality eyewear at low prices for 35 years. Call 1-800-2-PAIR or visit americasbest.com today.
Every cup has a story.
Dunkin' K-Cup packs in my life were a good fit.
A single serving for myself. It's pretty special.
It is like having a Dunkin' store in my home, which is what I've always dreamed of.
Bring home delicious Dunkin' K-Cup packs today. Your coffee, your Dunkin'.
Good morning, I'm Walter McCullough.
And I'm Lauren Pastrana. Here's what's making headlines right now.
Pope Francis celebrates Mass with a crowd of hundreds of thousands and meets with former leader Fidel Castro. We're live in Havana with what's planned for today.
And while covering the events in Cuba, CBS 4 anchor Rick Fulbaum and other journalists are detained for a short period of time. Rick's firsthand account in our team coverage of the Pope's historic visit.
A Miami-Dade commissioner under arrest on charges of drunk driving while riding his motorcycle. How Jose Pepe Diaz is responding this morning.
Plus, the Dolphins lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Could this be an early sign of trouble? CBS 4 sports anchor Steve Goldstein is in the studio this morning and talking with Joe.
And find out how history was made at last night's 67th annual Primetime Emmy Awards in Los Angeles.
Those stories and more are coming up on CBS 4 this morning at 5 a.m.
Stay with us. It's all coming your way next. We'll be right back.
The new comedy Life in Pieces premieres after The Big Bang Theory, CBS tonight.
You're on the verge of a life that most people can't even begin to imagine.
So what are you offering me?
One pill.
You ready to become somebody who matters? What did I have to lose? Your brain is a labyrinth of untapped potential. Suddenly, I had access to every brain cell. So yeah, I read every file on here. It's pretty intuitive. Checkmate. Checkmate. We should play for money. The world is mine. I just have to decide what to do with it.
FBI! Hands in the air.
Every time you take it, you basically become the smartest person in the world. That's a resource. Let's make it our resource.
I'll do whatever job you want. This isn't a suicide. We're gonna figure out who did it.
It's time.
Hello, residents. This is Angel Mamari.
Congratulations for learning from the best.
Stay focused. I can't do this. Yes, you can.
She's testing us, and I don't think I'm gonna pass that test.
Life is measured here in split seconds. Hesitate, and people die.
Save big at Coral Springs Buick GMC's Score the Winning Deal sales event. Lease a new 2015 GMC Terrain for only $99 a month. Coral Springs Buick GMC in the Coral Springs Auto Mall across from the Coral Square Mall.
Coral Springs Buick GMC.
And I love her so. I wouldn't trade her for gold. I'm walking on moonbeams.
His music needed one thing.
her. Once.
Coming to the Broward Center, October 6th through 18th. Tickets at browardcenter.org.
There's safety in numbers. Since 1967, over 100,000 people have bought cars from Massey Yardley Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Plantation. Why? The best prices and the best service in Florida. Massey Yardley has the lowest prices on Jeeps, Ram trucks, Chryslers, and Dodges.
It's a Jeep celebration event. Drive home in a new Jeep Renegade or a new Ram truck, only $169 a month.
Service is open in the evening, all day Sunday. Come see us today or visit MasseyYardley.com.
There's no time to waste. Get Xfinity TV for just $19.99 a month for 12 months. This is one of the best offers of the year, so get started for $19.99 a month. Plus, get the Xfinity TV Go app included at no additional cost, so you'll be able to watch live TV on any device, anywhere you go. Call 1-800-XFINITY to get a great offer on Xfinity TV, or get started for as low as $19.99 a month for 1 full year. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
Duende, Broward County celebrates 100 years.
What's Duende all about? Street performers and street art, DJs and dancing, light shows and live bands, reggae and salsa, tango, flamenco, pop and house, and Neil Goldberg's Broadway-style We, the passion and rhythm of the people. So for everything you'll want to know, go to Broward100.org. Duende. Now this is the way to celebrate 100 years.
Save big at Coral Springs Buick GMC's Score the Winning Deal sales event. Lease a new 2015 Buick Enclave for only $199 a month. Coral Springs Buick GMC in the Coral Springs Auto Mall across from the Coral Square Mall. Coral Springs Buick GMC.
From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is South Florida's CBS 4 News This Morning.
Good morning. It is Monday, September 21st. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Walter McCullough.
And I'm Maureen Pastrana in for Rudabeh Shabazi this morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us. We'll have a check on your weather and traffic in just a couple of minutes, but we begin with the Pope's historic trip to Cuba. Today, Pope Francis will begin his last full day on the island before heading to the United States. And this morning, the Pope will fly to the eastern city of Holguín, where he will deliver Mass. Among those in attendance, Miami Archbishop Thomas Wensky.
And this comes after a busy Sunday for the Pope, which included a Mass before hundreds of thousands of people in Havana's Revolution Square.
CBS 4's Adriana Diaz begins our team coverage live from Havana. Adriana, good morning.
Good morning, Walter and Lauren. Pope Francis is capturing the attention of the masses here, both old and young. Despite rain, thousands of young people welcomed Pope Francis like a rock star. Some climbed trees to get a better look. He spoke off the cuff at an event for Cuba's youth. 17-year-old Nirian Cabrera Rodriguez was there. What did you think of the Pope's speech?
Me encantó.
I loved it, she said. It blew me away. I felt like it was my mom or dad speaking to me. It was the Pope's last public stop on his first full day in Cuba. In the morning, he kissed babies and shook hands before an open-air mass for an estimated 200,000. Later, 89-year-old Fidel Castro hosted Francis at his residence. In the 40-minute meeting, the two exchanged books and discussed global issues. Vatican spokesman Father Federico Lombardi.
The Pope was very happy about this meeting. Some of the members of the family of Fidel were present, and the conversation was informal.
Later on this morning, the Pope heads east to the city of Holguín. Then he'll go to Santiago de Cuba, where he will visit the shrine of Cuba's patron saint. Live in Havana, Adriana Diaz, Walter Lauren, back to you.
Adriana, despite a relatively small Catholic community in Cuba, why is Pope Francis so popular there?
People here say that they see the Pope as one of their own. Every single Cuban we've spoken to says he's a Latin American Pope. He's like us. One gentleman even told us his blood is like our blood. And as you mentioned, the Catholic community is relatively small, one of the smallest in all of Latin America. 27% of people here identify as Catholics. One analyst told us that 5% are practicing churchgoers.
All right, Adriana, thank you so much. Live from Havana this morning. We'll see you back here for another live report in about a half an hour.
Meanwhile, the Holy Father also met with Fidel's brother, President Raul Castro. The two leaders met privately at the Palace of the Revolution for about 45 minutes. Raul Castro gave the pontiff a large crucifix made by a Cuban artist and a painting of the patron saint of Cuba.
Pope Francis then attended evening prayers with priests at the Havana Cathedral. The pontiff recited a homily and blessed the crowd during the celebration of Vespers. The Pope greeted several people inside the cathedral before walking outside to bless the crowds.
Pope Francis later met with young people at a cultural center in Havana. In a speech, the pontiff encouraged the group to, quote, dream big. Pope Francis also told them to pray for him, and if they don't believe, to wish him well.
And as we know, things work a little bit differently in Cuba compared to here in the United States. For those who want to voice opposition against the government, for example, and also for those in the media. CBS 4 anchor Rick Fulbaum is in Cuba covering the Pope's trip, and he shows you how our crew experienced this firsthand.
Dissidents know they can be rounded up and detained, sometimes indefinitely. So these Cubans knew the risk they were taking when they rushed the Pope-mobile to try to give Francis their pro-democracy pamphlets. These are just a few of the ones who took the risk. The Pope-mobile stopped. Francis seemed to bless them before they tossed their pamphlets in the air. There are also reports that 20 members of the Ladies in White dissident group were arrested on their way to the Mass. But it was after the Mass that journalists got a taste of the Cuban police state.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Why are we being kept here? Why are we being kept here? You won't let us go. Is there some reason why we have to stay here and not be able to go work? Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Instead of letting us exit the press area so we could interview the pilgrims, we were prevented from leaving for 15 minutes.
All right, well, finally we were let go, so now we can come down after the papal mass and we can come and find the pilgrims from Florida who we came here to talk to. The authorities have finally let us go do our job.
In Havana, Cuba, Rick Fulbaum, CBS 4 This Morning.
And as you just saw there, Rick and the rest of the crew were eventually released and allowed to continue on with their work.
A sense of excitement and spirituality filled churches and homes across South Florida yesterday as Pope Francis celebrated his first Mass in Cuba. The celebration had many not only watching but praying for the people's Pope as members of the community gathered at St. Brendan Catholic Church. Many hope Pope Francis's message will bring change not only in Cuba but around the world.
I think the Pope going to Cuba is the best thing that could happen. And I think the world is going to change.
Now, many support the Pope's visit to Cuba. Some Cuban Americans say it's too political. Although the Pope won't be making a stop in South Florida, many say that they will still track his trip in the United States.
And the Pope will leave Cuba tomorrow and head to the United States for his first ever trip here. Pope Francis will first visit Washington, D.C., where he will meet with President Obama. During his stay, he will visit the White House and make an address to Congress. The Pope will travel to New York City Thursday night.
And Friday morning, he will make an address to the United Nations General Assembly. He will lead a procession through Central Park and hold a Mass in Madison Square Garden.
And on Saturday, the Pope arrives in Philadelphia, where he will visit Independence Mall. He will also hold a prayer vigil with the World Meeting of Families, the largest meeting of Catholic families held every 3 years. Singers Aretha Franklin and Andrea Bocelli will perform, among others. Then on Sunday night, the Pope ends his trip to America and heads back to Rome. Of course, keep it right here on CBS 4 and CBSMiami.com for continuing coverage of the Pope's trip to Cuba. We'll have another live report from Havana coming up at 5:30.
Meanwhile, we are following breaking news involving the trade embargo against Cuba. Officials tell the Associated Press this morning that the Obama administration is considering abstaining from the annual UN vote that condemns the embargo. If the administration abstains, it will mark the first time the U.S. has declined to take a stand against a UN resolution directly criticizing American law. President Obama has urged Congress to scrap the 54-year-old embargo since December, when he announced normalizing diplomatic relations. Last year's UN vote against the embargo was 188-2. Only Israel joined the U.S.
5:07 on this Monday morning. I don't know about you, but it was coming down outside my house last night. Pretty good sleeping weather, though.
Lightning, thunder. Yeah. Let's get the details from meteorologist Lisette Gonzalez. Lisette.
It was a stormy night, and I heard the thunder roaring, and I also saw the lightning from my neighborhood. Thankfully, this morning, a nice, quiet start. Monday, here we go. Back to work, back to school. Live look from our Biscayne Bay camera, and we are seeing that the radar is mostly dry, except for an isolated shower that just pushed across Port Port Everglades, and the winds variable, actually mostly calm. And later on, we'll see more of a northeast breeze. Temperatures in the mid to upper 70s in Broward and Dade County, 79 in Fort Lauderdale, 76 in Miami, 75 for you in Kendall, and we are seeing the warmer 80s down through the Keys. As we head into the afternoon today, highs will climb to the low 90s. We could see a few stray showers later this morning. This afternoon, spotty storms, a 30% chance of rain. As we head into the evening, we could see some storms, mostly inland, and then we'll see a better chance of rain later this week as we kick off fall. So we'll have more on that in my complete forecast, but right now we do want to get a check of your traffic since Vanessa is off. Good morning.
Good morning, and everything appears to be moving pretty well in Broward and Miami-Dade County on this Monday. So let's take a look here. Griffin to camera. This is looking north, I-95 at 595 interchange. Northbound traffic on the right, as you can see, no delays at 595 and 95. Let's take a look a little bit further north, and this is actually 95 north at Cypress Creek. Traffic is moving up to speed here. No delays whatsoever. And in Miami-Dade, we take a look at our Palmetto camera, and that should show us that things are moving pretty well. We're looking at 75 northbound ramp. Again, on this early Monday morning, traffic's moving well and up to speed. We do have one accident, though, 826 northbound at Northwest 25th Street, but it's off on the shoulder and it's not causing any delays. Overall, we're doing really well this morning. Dean Muccio, CBS 4 Traffic.
All right, Dean, thank you. And now at 5:09, Miami-Dade Commissioner Jose Pepe Diaz arrested for driving drunk. He was stopped in the Keys, and police say he was speeding. CBS 4's Natalia Zea is live outside the commissioner's home in West Miami-Dade. Natalia, good morning.
Good morning. So far, no signs of life here at the commissioner's home. His spokeswoman told us that he was not planning to return home and had not returned home since his arrest in Key West, but he will ultimately have to answer some questions, at the very least, from his own constituents.
Key West police tell us they pulled over Miami-Dade County Commissioner Jose Pepe Diaz Saturday night. They say Commissioner Diaz was on his Harley-Davidson motorcycle going 74 miles an hour on a 30-mile-an-hour road. Diaz's bike toppled, they say, when he got off it because he didn't put out the kickstand. Police suspected the commissioner might be drinking, arrested him, and started their DUI investigation. Commissioner Diaz spent the night at the Monroe County Jail, leaving early Sunday. But his spokeswoman says he's not at his home in Sweetwater, despite cars in the driveway. Diaz did release this statement, saying, "Under advice of my legal counsel, I cannot discuss details at this time. I look forward to resolving this matter. In the meantime, I will continue serving my community and the residents of District 12 as I have for the last 24 years. I humbly ask for your patience at this time."
Now, Diaz was elected to the county commission back in 2002. Before that, he served as the mayor of the city of Sweetwater. There's no telling at this point when we will hear personally from the commissioner. He's normally very media friendly, but these are very different circumstances, as you might imagine. We do understand that there will be an arrest affidavit released later today by Key West Police that will likely give more details on this arrest. Natalia Zea, CBS 4 this morning.
Natalia, thank you. Coming up, more on a deadly hit and run in Miami.
Police have found the car involved in the crash, and this morning, hear from a witness who followed the driver for several blocks.
Then a woman is surging in the polls for president, and it's not Hillary Clinton. Plus, how Donald Trump and Ben Carson are sparking debate over who is running for political office.
But first, Dolphins disappointment. The Fins lose to the lowly Jacksonville Jaguars. CBS 4 sports anchor Steve Goldstein live in studio to break it all down.
Look forward to that report with Goldie, and at least the Canes won this past weekend. As we take a look from our day planner, you can see we are in for the low 90s, and the radar is quiet for now, but we'll see a better chance of wet weather later this week. I'll have details straight ahead.
41% of employees spend less than 15 minutes researching their health benefit options. By understanding some basic insurance terms, you'll be able to make informed decisions. A deductible is the amount you'll pay each year before your plan starts paying. Copay is the money you'll spend when visiting your doctor. Coinsurance is when you pay a share of the payment made against a claim, and out-of-pocket max is the most you'll pay for covered services.
CBS Health Watch is sponsored by Cigna. Together all the way.
Need help buying the perfect car or truck? Tune in Saturday morning for the AutoNation Test Drive of the Week. We'll feature your favorite brands at low AutoNation prices. AutoNation Test Drive of the Week. Sponsored by AutoNation South Florida.
We're offering new patients their first visit for only $59. Call Town Care Dental.
People of the coffee drinking world, Dunkin' has a dark roast coffee that's deliciously roasted just right for a bold start and smooth finish that's never bitter. Put down the dark roast you've been putting up with and reach for the one you deserve. America runs on Dunkin'.
What if getting ready was this easy? Now teeth whitening is with the Colgate Optic White Toothbrush Plus Whitening Pen. Just brush, whiten, and go. No waiting, no rinsing. It deeply whitens for whiter teeth in 2 days. Optic White Toothbrush Plus Whitening Pen. Brush, whiten, go.
We hid cameras in 2 different cars. The Chevy Equinox with built-in 4G LTE Wi-Fi and the Ford Escape without.
Chocolate chip. Chocolate chip.
Keep your legs down. Athena, put your leg down, please.
Chevrolet is the first and only car company to bring built-in 4G LTE Wi-Fi to cars, trucks, and crossovers.
Current qualified lessees can get this Chevy Equinox LT for around $199 a month.
Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Experience 9 stories of pre-owned luxury. Nowhere else but Bremen. 20th Street and Biscayne Boulevard.
October 11th is Jonathan's Day at Everglades Holiday Park. Specially designed activities for special kids. Jonathan's Day benefits the NSU Center for Autism and Related Disabilities. Share a day of acceptance and adventure at Everglades Holiday Park.
With the help of Comfort Keepers, I'm keeping my mom healthy.
I'm keeping Dad on schedule.
I'm keeping my mom happy.
Comfort Keepers in-home professional caregivers can provide meal planning and preparation, health and wellness services, and personal care services through custom care plans that can change as needs change, so your aging loved ones can stay happy and healthy in their own home.
Comfort Keepers, keeping the comfort of home.
Join us each Tuesday for Focusing on You, featuring researchers and physicians from Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center as they share breakthroughs in precision medicine.
CBS 4 News is sponsored by Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the Southeast. The all-new TLX just $235 a month. This week at Acura of Pembroke Pines.
Welcome back and good Monday morning, South Florida. Hopefully you enjoyed the weekend. I know we had a mixed bag of weather and last week was a washout. Thankfully right now, as we take a live look from our Biscayne Bay camera, Miami, we are seeing mostly quiet, dry conditions here. We had a few showers around Port Everglades and near Fort Lauderdale earlier, tiny shower, but that has since dissipated. So that is wonderful news as you're getting ready to head out for your commute. And as we take a look at the winds, mainly calm out there and light in Pompano Beach, 5 miles per hour. So temperatures pretty comfortable in the mid to upper 70s, 79 degrees for you in Fort Lauderdale, 76 in Miami, 75 in Kendall, and warmer down through the Keys with the 80s. And we're seeing that cooler temperatures are across Big Bend and North Florida with the upper 60s in Gainesville, Jacksonville, Tallahassee. Right now, the low 70s around Orlando and Melbourne. And checking in on the rest of the U.S. Wow, look at this. Fall does not officially kick off until Wednesday, but it is certainly much cooler as we take a look at the 50s in Boston and the Big Apple, in Cincinnati, Chicago, Minneapolis, Denver, 60s around D.C. Right now, 63 in Kansas City, 66 in Albuquerque and Memphis. And then we're seeing the comfy 70s stretching from Atlanta through New Orleans and into Texas. Over on the West Coast, 78 in Los Angeles and 55 degrees in Seattle. As we take a look at the future radar locally, it is looking mostly dry for the morning hours. However, some of the models indicating some spotty storms will be possible as we head into lunchtime. 1 p.m., 2 p.m. could see some rain, so take your umbrellas with you. You know how it is this time of year. We're not done with rainy season yet. As we get into 3 p.m. also the potential for some precipitation, and then most of the action then will be across the interior sections of the peninsula as we head into later this evening. But then tonight there could be some showers in spots. So today a 30% chance of rain, and tomorrow more of the same as we have plenty of drier in the mid to upper levels. The moisture forecast is showing that then we'll start to see more green, indicating a more unsettled atmosphere and a better chance of storms as we head towards the middle and end of the week. Let's talk tropics. Thankfully, nothing threatening South Florida. Tropical storm Ida is expected to stay out in the open water waters of the Atlantic and could even become a Category 1 hurricane. And then as we take a look at the satellite, you're seeing Ida is well away from us and just about 1,000 miles east of the Lesser Antilles. Here across South Florida, the forecast today calling for another hot one with highs in the low 90s. So drink plenty of water. You'll feel warmer than that. Spotty storms around. Boaters, seas 2 to 3, a light chop on the bays. Tonight, lows will fall to the upper 70s. We could see a couple of showers and some storms. And as we head into the rest of the week, yeah, there you see it, the first day of autumn on Wednesday, and we'll see highs in the upper 80s with more rain around for the second half of the week. Vanessa's off. We do have a check of your traffic, though, with Dean Muccio. Good morning, Dean.
Good morning, Lisette, and we're looking at the Palmetto northbound at 75 camera. Right now, no major delays or accidents, but as we get into rush hour, certainly things will change. Southbound traffic from 75 attempting to merge on 826 will be major bottlenecking, but right now we're doing pretty well. Let's head into Broward County, where things are moving really well. We're taking a look at 95 north at 595, and again, no major slowdowns to report here, or the Turnpike, or 75 in Broward County. So Miami-Dade and Broward County all moving up to speed this morning. Let's hope it stays that way. Dean Muccio, CBS 4 Traffic.
All right, Dean, thank you. And now to Fins on 4. Dolphins' disappointment on Sunday. The Fins fall to the Jacksonville Jaguars in the final minute of the game. Now, this is a game every Dolphins fan expected the team to win.
Yeah, now instead of being 2-0, the Fins are 1-1 heading into a tough home opener. CBS 4 Sports anchor Steve Goldstein joining us live in the studio this morning with more. Goldie, good morning.
Walter, good morning. You know, it was supposed to be an easy 2-0 start to the season against a couple of weaker teams. Someone forgot to tell the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Dolphins never led in this game, down a touchdown in the third quarter. They did tie it, though. Ryan Tannehill to new tight end Jake Stoneburner were even at 20, but the Fins unraveled down the stretch. Look at this. Olivier Vernon with a bad late hit penalty, putting Jacksonville in field goal range. One of 13 Dolphins penalties, undisciplined. 40 seconds left, rookie kicker Jason Myers nails the game winner to give Jacksonville the 23-20 win. Much of the talk will be about the late game loss, but for the second week in a row, the Dolphins began the game slowly.
I don't think there's a lack of urgency from us. I think we haven't got off to the starts we wanted to, and I don't know exactly what that is at this point, but you know, I feel like we're coming into games confident and just aren't making enough plays.
Now, Ryan Tannehill's tough, but he took some hard hits yesterday. He was noticeably limping. Left tackle Brandon Alberts and running back Lamar Miller didn't finish the game with injuries. 1-1 Buffalo comes to town on Sunday. What, for now, is a big early season divisional game for the Fins.
Hopefully they can pull off a win at home next week.
They could use one. That was a very big disappointment yesterday, Lauren. This game is supposed to win if you're going to be a good team.
And that's against Buffalo 4-30.
Yeah, late game at home in the stadium. Rex Ryan and the Bills, they got beat by New England yesterday, Walter, so they're also 1-1. This is a big battle between two teams hoping to be better than 500, which they basically both were last year.
All right, Goldie, thanks so much for joining us. Time right now is 5:20, and coming up, Campaign 2016.
Yeah, Donald Trump is losing ground with voters while another Republican candidate has made significant gains since the last GOP debate. The results of a new poll straight ahead.
First, a look at the big winners from last night's Emmy Awards and how actress Viola Davis made history.
And here's a look at what's happening in South Florida. For more on Fashion Gives Back and other events taking place across our area, just log on to our website, cbsmiami.com. We'll be right back.
Volkswagen's model year-end clearance countdown. We're counting down your final hours to save big on Motor Trend's Car of the Year. Final clearance savings on all remaining 2015 Volkswagen. Get affordable German engineering from just $119 a month or $0 down. Passat or Tiguan SUV. Your choice. $159 a month lease or $0 down. Or buy new Volkswagens with 0% for 72 months. But the clock is ticking. Don't miss your chance at Volkswagen's model year-end clearance countdown.
Waking up to fatigued skin? Sleep on this.
Garnier Miracle Sleeping Cream. Like a lightweight mask of continuous hydration, it works while you sleep, so you wake up to refreshed, younger-looking skin. Miracle Sleeping Cream.
From Garnier.
Tell Robert. Car accident? Tell Robert. Slip and fall? Tell Robert. Motorcycle accident? Tell Robert.
Call 1-800-TELL-ROBERT.
1-800-TELL-ROBERT.
Spokesperson, not an attorney.
At Clorox 2, we've turned removing stains into a science.
Now pre-treat with Clorox 2.
Watch stains disappear right before your eyes. Remove 4 times more stains than detergent alone.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, sweetie.
I'm in love.
¿Tiene novio?
Boyfriend?
It's a beautiful thing. Finally have enough space.
Por fin uno que la entiende.
He understands her, but they just met.
I'll send you a picture.
The new Toyota Corolla with the style and space you've been looking for.
Good taste.
Now get the new 2016 Corolla with 0% APR financing for 36 months. Toyota, let's go places.
I really shouldn't. No, you know what? I should. And I will. I deserve this. I'm a BOGO findin', weekly ad flippin', couponin' mastermind. Who's saving big time? This girl. Can I help you? Indeed. This queen of savings deserves a reward.
A cannoli, please. The weekly ad, BOGOs, and coupons. 3 easy ways to save at the same place you love to shop. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Hey, America, still not sure whether to stay or go on that business trip?
Should I stay or should I go?
Well, this fall, stay with Choice Hotels 2 times and earn a free night. When it comes to business, you always have a choice. Book now at thenewchoicehotels.com.
Meet Sharon. She's not just someone who can make a Cancun vacation tax deductible. She's a marketer. And all it took was Constant Contact. Sharon's emails and her fast fingers keep clients flocking back. Try it free at ConstantContact.com.
You'll feel like you bought from the factory. Headquarter Toyota.
In this morning's pop news, the stars shined bright last night at the 67th Annual Primetime Emmy Awards. As CBS 4's Suzanne Marquez reports, it was an historic night that also included a big surprise.
This is the most diverse group of nominees in Emmy history.
And it was the diversity of the winners that made for some of the 67th Emmy Awards in downtown Los Angeles historic firsts this year.
Viola Davis, How to Get Away with Murder.
Davis made history as the first black woman to win Best Actress in a drama series.
The only thing that separates women of color from anyone else is opportunity.
Jeffrey Tambor won Best Actor in a Comedy Series for his transgender role in Transparent, an Amazon online series.
I've been given the opportunity to act because people's lives depend on it.
He dedicated his award to the transgender community.
Thank you for letting us be part of the change.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Veep.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus had her 4th consecutive win for Veep. Game of Thrones, the HBO drama, won the most awards for any series in a single year.
Thank you all so much.
But Mad Men was not completely shut out. John Hamm won an Emmy for lead actor in a drama series, his first win after 16 nominations. Tracy Morgan made a surprise appearance, his first since his accident last June.
I miss you guys so much.
Suzanne Marquez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And some good news, your favorite nerds are back. The 9th season of the hit CBS sitcom The Big Bang Theory premieres tonight right here on CBS 4. The Emmy Award-winning hit show begins with more twists and turns. Last season's emotional finale left fans in doubt about the future of Sheldon and Amy's relationship. The first episode will delve right into it.
Really? Raj, you're probably wondering why Amy and I aren't showing any affection to one another.
Didn't even crack the top 10.
Well, you should know that she recently broke up with me.
I said I needed time to think.
I'm sure you guys will figure something out.
You hear that? Raj is devastated.
Now, Kunal Nayar plays Raj on the show. His new book, Yes, My Accent Is Real, was just released, and in it, he discusses funny stories about his life and what it's like working on the Big Bang Theory set.
The premiere is really where we left off, with Leonard and Penny driving to Las Vegas to get married. Sheldon and Amy still in a state of relationship flux. And I can't tell you what happens, obviously, but you know, with these relationships, some things go well and some things don't. So we'll see.
You can watch Nayar and his fellow geeks on the new season of The Big Bang Theory tonight at 8, only on CBS 4.
Big Bang Theory, certainly no stranger to the Emmys either. I know Jim Parsons has won
Huge
before.
ones.
So it was definitely a fun night to watch that. We'll have some catching up because we had to sleep in, of course. But now let's get a check on our weather with meteorologist Lisette Gonzalez. Lisette, did you stay up or did you turn in early last night?
No, we turned in early, you know, especially with the 1-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
So this morning, many of you waking up and wondering, well, do I have to leave early? Are the roads wet? Because we did have some storms last night. Thankfully, It is a quiet start, my friends. We're waking up with the upper 70s in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, 82 in Key West. However, a few storms could fire up later today, so make sure you grab your rain gear. I'll have your full forecast. Stay with us.
All right, Lisa, thank you. And after the break, Trump versus Fiorina, how last week's second GOP debate is shaking up the polls.
The most important moments of the most important news stories. Your world in 90 seconds. The Eye-Opener, only on CBS This Morning.
Just released, the Florida Public Service Commission approved to eliminate most of the current air conditioning rebates as of September 30th. If you've even thought about a new Carrier air conditioning system, turn to the experts at Lindstrom today so you don't lose your share of thousands of dollars in rebates.
I love those guys.
Arm & Hammer combines strength and beauty for true radiance. So for my radiant smile, I use new Truly Radiant Rejuvenating Toothpaste. In just 5 days, it cleans, whitens, repairs, and strengthens enamel with a twist of mint. Be radiant with new Truly Radiant.
Duende, Broward County celebrates 100 years.
What's Duende all about? Street performers and street art, DJs and dancing, light shows and live bands, reggae and salsa, tango, flamenco, pop and house, and Neil Goldberg's Broadway-style weave, the passion and rhythm of the people. So for everything you'll want to know, go to Broward100.org. Duende. Now this is the way to celebrate 100 years.
Steel, a brand built on power. And the Americans who use it, build it, and sell it. Right now, Steel blowers start at just $139.95. Plus, save $50 on the powerful MS-250 chainsaw. Now just $299.95 for a limited time. Real people, Steel people. Join us. Visit SteelDealers.com.
And I love her so, I wouldn't trade her for gold. I'm walking on moonbeams.
His music needed one thing. Her. Once.
Coming to the Broward Center, October 6th through 18th. Tickets at browardcenter.org.
Attention homeowners, most utility rebates are expiring as of September 30th. If you've even thought about a new air conditioner, turn to the experts at Lindstrom today. And don't lose your share of thousands of dollars in rebates on a new Carrier AC system.
Yeah, I love those guys.
From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is South Florida's CBS 4 News This Morning.
Right now at 5:30, we will take you live to Havana as Pope Francis begins the third day of his historic trip to Cuba.
Plus, fatal hit and run. Hear from a witness who followed the driver believed to be responsible. It's 5:30 on Monday, September 21st. I'm Lauren Pastrana in for Rudabe Shabanzi This Morning.
And I'm Walter McCullough. Good morning to you. Thanks for being here with us. We have a check on your weather and traffic coming up in just a couple of minutes.
But first, more on Pope Francis' historic trip to Cuba. Today, the Pope will leave Havana and head east to the city of Holguin to hold Mass in front of thousands.
CBS 4's Adriana Diaz kicks off our live team coverage this morning from Havana. Adriana, good morning. Can you tell us about the excitement? Is it still lingering there in the air?
Good morning. Cuba is still abuzz about Pope Francis. He's really captured their attention. They see him as one of their own. He's from Latin America. People have told us repeatedly, because he's from this region, he understands our struggles, he understands our culture. They see him as almost coming home in a sense.
Adriana, Pope John Paul II visited Cuba back in 1998. Pope Benedict XVI was there in 2012. So Cuba has gotten its share of papal visits. But why is there more excitement seemingly over Pope Francis's trip to the island?
I think because of that reason, because he's Latin American, and also because Cubans know that he played a key role in helping broker the renewed ties between the U.S. and Cuba. They're thankful to him for that. So there really is a jubilant, excited sense and feeling here. People know that there's change that's coming and that's already underway, and that Francis is to thank for that in some part. Some people also told us, because John Paul and Benedict came as well, they feel blessed to have had 3 popes in such a short time. They understand that that is very unusual.
And Adriana, we know that the Pope met with Fidel Castro very briefly, but we don't know what they discussed, what that conversation was like. Do you know anything about that meeting?
We do. We found out that they discussed world issues, world problems, including the environment. They also had an informal discussion about books. They exchanged 5 books. Francis gave 5 books to Fidel. Fidel gave at least 1 book to Pope Francis, and in that book he wrote a dedication to Pope Francis. Fidel Castro's family was there as well. His son snapped a photo that was distributed yesterday. So it was really meant to be a closed family meeting with the Pope.
What a treasure to get 5 books from the Pope. Amazing. Our Adriana Diaz this morning live in Havana. Thank you for being here with us.
And Pope Francis had a busy day in Cuba on Sunday. He delivered a morning mass before hundreds of thousands of people. His message centered on serving people and not ideas. CBS 4 anchor Rick Folbaum is in Cuba covering the Pope's trip. He spoke to South Floridians who traveled to the island. He continues our team coverage from Havana.
The minute it was announced that Pope Francis had arrived at Revolution Plaza, the atmosphere felt less like a mass and more like a rock concert. Scratch that, a samba festival. This is Latin America after all. Francis spent more than a half hour winding his way through the pilgrims, first in his Pope-mobile, then on foot. This Pope sure knows how to make an entrance. His homily focused on service. He said anyone important serves others more than him or herself. He did not get political, though the island's cardinal, Jaime Ortega, thanked the Pope for his work towards reconciliation. As Francis gave communion, the faithful fanned themselves as temperatures climbed into the 90s.
For decades, the only thing worshipped here in Cuba was the state. But today, the pilgrims who have gathered here in Revolution Plaza are able to follow along with a Catholic Mass like they've been doing it all their lives.
This elderly Cuban man says he's attended all 3 papal masses here and that Francis was the best because of his discipline, he told me. Frank Piccolo came from Broward County.
Words cannot describe it. You can't go back to Fort Lauderdale and tell people you were in Havana and communicate as to what it really felt like. Amazing.
What is it like for you to be here celebrating Mass in Cuba?
Emotional. Lots of up and downs.
This woman from the Gables didn't want to give me her name, but she said it was her first time in Cuba in more than 50 years. But perhaps the most emotion we saw came from this elderly Cuban woman after Hilda Fernandez from Miami Lakes handed her some rosary beads she'd brought from South Florida. I asked Fernandez what she'd say to those back home upset with Pope Francis for showing any support for the Castro regime.
If you take the politics out of it, there's a lot of people suffering on both sides of the straits who are looking for an opportunity to live again in peace, to be able to come and see relatives they haven't seen in many years. I can appreciate the pain. It's a pain my parents felt when they left. My father died without being able to come back to this country, died, and that was very sad for all of us, for him not to have had that opportunity. You know, but at the end of the day, I can't imagine being angry at someone who brings such a message of hope, something we desperately need right now.
In Havana, Cuba, Rick Folbaum, CBS 4 This Morning.
The Cuban Democracy Movement held a protest against the oppression of the Cuban government yesterday. The movement leader, Ramon Saul Sanchez, has been fasting for the last 5 days to call attention to human rights violations on the island. Yesterday, he attended a mass at Our Lady of Charity Church to pray that Pope Francis will listen to the group's appeals.
We have to work together to make sure that we overcome this era of militarism and enter into an era of civilism.
Now, the group is also advocating the reunification of Cuban families who have been divided by the Cuban government.
A new CBS News New York Times poll reveals how Americans view the Pope and the Catholic Church. 63% of American Catholics have favorable views of Pope Francis. Just 3% are unfavorable. Among Americans overall, 41% have favorable views of the Pope and just 8% are unfavorable. 63% of Catholics say the condition of the church in the U.S. is excellent or good. That's up from 54% 2 years ago. And keep it right here on CBS 4 and on CBSMiami.com for continuing coverage of the Pope's trip to Cuba. We'll have another live report from Havana coming up at 6 o'clock.
Meanwhile, we are following breaking news involving the trade embargo against Cuba. Officials tell the Associated Press this morning that the Obama administration is considering abstaining from the annual UN vote that condemns the embargo. Now, if the administration abstains, it will mark the first time the U.S. has declined to take a stand against a UN resolution directly criticizing American law. President Obama has urged Congress to scrap the 54-year-old embargo since December, when he announced normalizing diplomatic relations. Last year's UN vote against the embargo was 188-2. Only Israel joined the U.S.
5:37 right now. Let's get a check on your traffic and weather this morning, beginning with CBS 4 meteorologist Lisette Gonzalez. Good morning, Lisette.
Good morning, Lauren and Walter, and to all of you at home kicking off a new school and work week. A live view from our Doral camera, and we do have reports now from the National Weather Service that some inland areas well across the interior sections of South Florida dealing with some patchy fog developing. So a heads up if you're headed in that direction out west. Right now, the radar is quiet and dry. The winds are very calm, and that's part of the reason that we're likely seeing some fog developing. Although as I'm checking in on the visibility right now, most areas looking okay. I'll continue to update you throughout the morning. We're waking up with the mid to upper 70s this morning. So in Kendall, not as warm, feeling comfortable with 75, 76 in Miami, 79 in Fort Lauderdale, but warmer down through the Keys. As we head into the afternoon, we will see highs in the low 90s, and some spotty storms will be possible even into the evening. A 30% chance of rain, so just grab the umbrella as you head out the door. You will really need the rain gear later this week. I'll explain why in my complete forecast. Vanessa is off. We do have a check of your traffic now with Dean Muccio.
Yeah, Lisette, we are starting to see some fog out west, so we'll keep an eye on that for you this morning. Right now we're looking at 95 southbound traffic on your right at Miami Gardens Drive, and you can see things are moving really well. I mean, no delays whatsoever. A little bit further north on 95, let's take a look at the Cypress Cam, and that road running left to right and east to west. You can see that Cypress Creek is moving well, and 95 is doing well northbound and southbound as well. And the Palmetto Expressway, northbound 75 jumping on from the 826, and then of course the southbound traffic trying to get onto the Palmetto. No problems right now, but things will get a little bit sticky as we head into rush hour. That's a little bit later on, but right now we're looking pretty good. Dean Muccio, CBS 4 Traffic.
All right, Dean, thank you very much. And now at 5:39, police have found the car involved in a deadly hit and run. CBS 4's O'Reilly Ortega spoke with a witness who followed that driver for several blocks.
A fatal hit and run that took place at this Miami intersection claimed the life of a man believed to be in his 60s. But a woman on her way to work was determined not to let the driver get away.
I knew it was a red Toyota.
Tanya Moore was in the area of Northwest 28th Street and 22nd Avenue shortly before 8 this morning when a man was crossing this busy and seemingly dangerous intersection. According to police, a red Toyota driven by a woman struck the man and took off. Although Moore was concerned for her own safety, she followed the vehicle.
It's just something that's kicked in that I was able to do it, and some guys was on the corner saying, there you go, down there, follow, and I just went on instinct.
Moore followed the red Toyota for a few blocks to Northwest 24th Court and 21st Terrace, where the driver got out of the vehicle and fled the scene on foot.
I didn't know the tag number, but I knew what kind of car it was, so I told the police I had a suggestion, what color it was, but I didn't get the tag number. So I just told him basically what area it was in.
The victim was rushed to the hospital where he later died. Back at the scene of the hit and run, traffic homicide detectives blocked off the intersection to conduct their investigation. The red Toyota, with visible windshield damage, was towed from the scene once police wrapped up their investigation. Police have not released the victim's identity, and they tell us they have located that driver, but an arrest has not been made. If you have any information that could help police, contact Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers at 305-471-TIPS. In Miami, O'Reilly Ortega, CBS 4 This Morning.
And a cyclist is recovering this morning after he was hit by a car in Miami. That cyclist was taking part in a triathlon when he was struck. Police say it happened on Northeast 18th Street and Biscayne Boulevard. No word whether charges were filed or on the condition of the cyclist. And the Broward Sheriff's Office is investigating a boating accident in Pompano Beach that left one person dead. It happened when two boats crashed on the Intracoastal Waterway on Saturday. Divers found the body of a man who was missing just south of the Atlantic Boulevard Bridge Sunday. 3 other people were taken to the hospital with serious injuries.
And now to a CBS 4 News safety alert. A boil water order is in effect for the Black Hawk Ranches community in the town of Davie. The order is the result of a broken water main that is under repair. It's expected to be in effect until late tonight.
Now to campaign 2016. Carly Fiorina has shot to second place in the polls, boosted by her performance in last week's debate. In the latest CNN poll, frontrunner Donald Trump slid to 24% support among registered Republicans, followed by Fiorina with 15% and Ben Carson with 14%. Just days after Trump did not correct a town hall participant who claimed President Obama was a Muslim, Carson has made his own comments about Muslims and the presidency. Carson insists a Muslim should not be president because Islam is not consistent with the Constitution.
All right, straight ahead, Apple becomes the target of a hack attack.
It's a first-of-its-kind security breach exposing a rare vulnerability in Apple's mobile platform. Details in this morning's Money Watch.
And we're talking with Joe about the Dolphins' disappointing loss in Jacksonville, from the slow start to the defense. What is going on?
And it looks like something out of March of the Penguins. More of this spectacular video coming up on you in our next hour.
Oh, I can't wait. I love penguins, and I love that we're waking up to a dry start for all of you at home as you're getting ready to head out the door. However, there could be a few showers later this morning, some storms this afternoon, and we also have reports of some patchy fog inland. I'll have all the details in my complete forecast.
People of the coffee drinking world, Dunkin' has a dark roast coffee that's deliciously roasted just right for a bold start and smooth finish that's never bitter. Put down the dark roast you've been putting up with and reach for the one you deserve. America runs on Dunkin'.
Just released, the Florida Public Service Commission approved to eliminate most of the current air conditioning rebates as of September 30th. If you've even thought about a new Carrier air conditioning system, turn to the experts at Lindstrom today so you don't lose your share of thousands of dollars in rebates.
Those guys.
I have this recurring dream where I actually enjoy flying. There's plenty of room to stretch out. I never get bored. And I just feel welcome. Then it's back to reality. Come on, being treated with dignity? Yeah, right. Huh.
Which truck brand do you think offers best-in-class HD towing, best V8 horsepower, and has Motor Trend's 2015 Truck of the Year?
Ram.
Chevy.
What do you think?
A Ford.
Oh.
Here's the answer. That's the Chevy Silverado HD, the Chevy Silverado, and the Chevy Colorado.
Chevy.
It's Truck Month. Now qualified buyers get 0% financing for 60 months. Plus find your bonus tag and get $4,000 cash allowance on select Silverado 1500 crew cabs in stock. See your South Florida Chevy dealer.
Airboat tours, birthday parties, and more. Everglades Holiday Park.
She's only 5 years old, my baby girl. I'm all she has, and she's going to need me for a long time. I plan to be here, and yes, I have HIV. People are living today with HIV. People like me who get treatment. Rise above the fear. Rise above the shame. If you have HIV, get into treatment now. Call 954-357-9797. Get care, Broward. Treat HIV, beat HIV.
Tune in to Talkin' with Joe on CBS 4, sponsored by your South Florida Chevy dealer, Chevy Silverado, made with high-strength steel for high-strength dependability.
Attention homeowners, most utility rebates are expiring as of September 30th. If you've even thought about a new air conditioner, turn to the experts at Lindstrom today. And don't lose your share of thousands of dollars in rebates on a new Carrier AC system.
Yeah, I love those guys.
CBS 4 News is sponsored by Mardi Gras Casino, where it's always a party. Located on the corner of Pembroke Road and US 1.
Good Monday morning, South Florida. Live view from our Biscayne Bay camera, Miami right now. The Magic City looking great. We are dry for the most part, but there are a few showers lurking offshore and also reports of patchy, dense fog inland. So right now, let's zoom in because I want to show you some showers that have just popped up over the Atlantic waters to the east of Broward County. So if they hold and they continue to move westward, some of you around Deerfield Beach, Pompano Beach, Fort Lauderdale could see a little bit of rain later this morning, and we're waking up to comfortable temperatures. 75 degrees for you in Kendall, 76 in Miami, 79 in Fort Lauderdale. We're seeing the warmer 80s down through the Keys, and the winds calm, light, and that's part of the reason we're likely seeing some fog across the interior section. So well out west right now, as I look at the visibility map, it's looking okay for most of Broward, Miami-Dade County, closer to the coast, and even for some of the western suburbs. But if you're headed towards the interior sections of the peninsula, that's where you may encounter some fog. Checking out the future radar, most of the morning is looking relatively quiet with a couple of showers popping up. And then as we head into lunchtime, 1 p.m., we start to see some more green. The model's indicating we'll likely see some wet weather across some of the neighborhoods, and that includes portions of Broward and Miami-Dade County around 2 p.m., 3 p.m. And then the bulk of the activity starts to push well inland around 4 or 5 p.m. into the evening until we get around 8, 9 p.m. Could see some storms around just like last night. And as we look at the moisture forecast, we're seeing a lot of red indicating relatively dry, stable air, at least for today and tomorrow, which means we're not going to deal with a widespread storm chance like last week for the first half of this week. However, as we get into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we start to see a lot more green, and that's the reasoning behind bumping up the storm chance middle to end of the week. For the temperatures, we're looking at a taste of fall with the 50s across the northeast New England areas and northern tier of the country, 60s for Kansas City, D.C., Memphis, and 70s from Texas through the Gulf Coast states. In the tropics, just watching Tropical Storm Ida, not a threat to us or to land. It's could become a Category 1 hurricane, though, as we head into later this week. And as we take a look at the satellite image, there you see Tropical Storm Ida. It's about 1,000 miles east of the Lesser Antilles. For today, it'll be a hot one, highs in the low 90s, feeling warmer than that due to the humidity, around the 100s. Spotty storms, a 30% chance of rain, boaters seas 2 to 3, a light chop on the bays. And tonight, we will see some scattered storms and then just some showers, 78 degrees. So as we head into the middle of the week, we kick off fall officially, and then we're going to see a better chance of storms with highs in the upper 80s. Right now, Vanessa's off. Let's get a check of your traffic with Dean Muccio.
Thank you, Lisette. And we're taking a look out west on the 826 at US 27 Okeechobee Road. Traffic's moving really well. I'm not seeing any signs of fog, as you were referring to, but, it could be moving in a little bit later on this morning. But traffic on the right side of your screen moving southbound, and, of course, the Palmetto Expressway northbound on your left side. So things looking pretty well this morning. We're accident-free and delay-free. 95 at the Airport Expressway. A little blurry on our camera there. We'll try to get that fixed. And things are moving well on 95 as well. So we're doing well on this Monday morning. Dean Muccio, CBS 4 Traffic.
And now, CBS 4 Sports.
Good morning. If the Dolphins are going to be a playoff team, they need to win games against teams like Jacksonville. It was a bitter disappointment yesterday. A 23-20 loss left the Dolphins at 1-1. Lauren Pastrana's crew taking it in Jacksonville. There they are, everybody in the pool. All right, let's get to the field. Quarterback Blake Bortles started out red hot. Here, the deep pass to receiver Allen Robinson, his second touchdown of the game. Jaguars led 17-6. Strong drive to start the second half. Ryan Tannehill fires it to Jake Stoneburner. First NFL catch for him. Game tied at 20, but with a minute left, Olivier Vernon with the brutal late hit penalty. It puts the Jaguars in range for the game-winning field goal, one of 13 Dolphins penalties on the day. And Jason Myers kicks the Dolphins when they're down. 23-20 the score. One last chance for the Finns falls flat. They are now 1-1 and host Buffalo on Sunday.
You have to give all the credit to them for doing a good job executing their game plan. We just didn't make enough plays. We left some plays out there, and close game like that in the second half, you got to make big plays, and we didn't do that.
If we're allowing teams and offenses to set the tone, it's not going to be a good day for us. So we got to go out there and set the tone. And like I said, going back to the drawing board, figure out what's best for our players.
Many picked the Bills to beat Tom Brady and the Patriots. Well, pick again. Brady was on fire. Julian Edelman with the score here. A scary moment after the play. Buffalo's Aaron Williams has to be taken off the field in an ambulance. Good news, he's been released from the hospital. Back to the game, the Bills try to come back from way down as they got within a score, but New England would hold them off. Brady throws for 466 yards and 3 touchdowns, 40-32 the final. New England is 2-0. New Orleans hosting Tampa Bay. Jameis Winston comes back strong after a rough NFL debut last week. Check out this grab back in the end zone by Vincent Jackson. It gives the Bucs a 10-3 lead. Third quarter, Winston does it himself, the rollout, and he'll just tuck it in. Takes it in. Tampa upsets New Orleans 26-19. Dallas is 2-0, but they lost quarterback Tony Romo. He gets crunched and has a broken clavicle after the hit by Philadelphia's Jordan Hicks. Romo expected to miss about 8 weeks. Backup Brandon Weeden came in the game, and he was just fine. Here he throws to Terrence Williams. The Romo-less Cowboys beat the Eagles 20-10. Now it's time for Talking with Joe. The big dog, Joe Rose, live from the WQAM studios this morning. And, Joe, just give us a quick feel. What was that mood like on that Dolphins plane last night?
Well, it was what it should have been. It was terrible. It was a lot of guys should be bummed out. They lost to a bad football team in the NFL, Jacksonville Jaguars. They didn't play well. They got off to another slow start. And Goldie, I know it's only 2 of 16 games, but, man, they got a lot of things they should be concerned about as that coaching staff gets together first thing this morning and goes, we got some problems on our line, offensive and defensive.
All right, good you mentioned that. Let's talk about that defensive line. Again, a disappointment. It was supposed to be the strength of this team. They can't get the stop late in the game. What is going on up front with these guys?
Well, I know some people may think it's scheme, and some of it does fall back on Kevin Coyle, the defensive coordinator, but, you know, it gets back to fundamentals. Gold, there's no pass rush. So let's just start with that. They were supposed to have this great pass rush. They spent all this money on this defensive line. They've got 1 sack in 2 games. Redskins and Jacksonville Jaguars. 1 sack in 2 games. You can't get any Blake Bortles before the half. You know why they didn't sit on the ball and go in at half? Because they knew they had time to throw it. They just went back to shotgun, threw the ball down the field. Even their blitz packages, they don't get any pressure. They've got some big problems right now. Guys can't get off blocks. And because that, and by the way, Ndamukong Suh is not dominating right now either. And it starts with him, but a lot of guys around him got to play better as well.
Yeah, it's been a struggle now. It's been a struggle from the start of these games, Joe. And this isn't just the first couple of weeks. This goes back to the last few years. A lot of games, they just don't seem to have the intensity right from kickoff.
Yeah, it was, I felt that way yesterday too, Gold. That's why they get off these slow starts. I don't know if they listen to what everybody says about their opponents, but can I talk about the other problem they have a little bit right now, the offensive line? You know, that was a big concern in the offseason. Did they take care of it? Do they have enough depth? Yesterday, we found out once again, this offensive line is really struggling. Can't run block. Pass protection yesterday was not good, and because of that, they can't get first downs. I mean, it was a struggle to get a first down against Jacksonville late in that ball game. But I'm telling you, they go back. And Goldie, these are the guys you have. It's not like you can go out and just get a whole bunch of guys off the street to upgrade the team. These are the 53 guys you have. They thought they had a deeper team. Right now, they don't. They played terrible yesterday. It was an embarrassment the way they played. All the penalties they had, just awful yesterday. Is there anything else you want to add to it? Go ahead, Gold.
No, I'm going to leave it alone. We'll get back to you the next hour.
You
get a little bit happier. Let's send it back to Walter and Lauren. Thanks, Joe.
Gee, Joe, tell us how you really feel,
Thanks,
right?
Doesn't he always? You can depend on him for that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, coming up, check the cheese in your fridge because there's a new outbreak involving a potentially deadly bacteria.
But first, Coca-Cola is in a multi-billion-dollar battle with the IRS. Details in this morning's Money Watch.
And a rare hack attack against Apple, the first of its kind security breach, and what you need to know. We'll have that for you coming up after the break.
Our babies will be smart and beautiful. Not to mention imaginary.
It's the event 8 years in the making. And CBS Tonight. You're invited.
Penny, we are made of particles that have existed since the moment the universe began. I like to think those atoms traveled 14 billion years through time and space to create us.
Wow.
I believe I'm supposed to carry you across the threshold.
You gonna make it?
I'm okay.
The season premiere of The Big Bang Theory. Tonight, 8/7 Central.
Just released, the Florida Public Service Commission approved to eliminate most of the current air conditioning rebates as of September 30th. If you've even thought about a new Carrier air conditioning system, turn to the experts at Lindstrom today so you don't lose your share of thousands of dollars in rebates.
Yeah, I love those those guys.
It's time to kick off the savings with Coconut Creek Hyundai and save big with 0% financing or no payments for 90 days. Lease the all-new Sonata for only $79 a month. Only at Coconut Creek Hyundai, South Florida's largest volume Hyundai dealer.
CBS 4 News is sponsored by All Pets Emporium. For the best selection of all natural pet products, visit All Pets Emporium. We love pets.
When broker Chris Hill stays at La Quinta, he fires up the free Wi-Fi with a network that's now up to 5 times faster than before, so he can rapidly prepare his presentation. And when he perfects his pitch, you know what Chris can do?
And that is my recommendation.
Let's see if he's ready.
He can swim with the sharks.
He's ready.
La Quinta Inns and Suites takes care of you so you can take care of business. Book your next stay at LQ.com.
Do you see any girls? Pink plate!
Nice.
Pink plate! Where? Pink plate! Good job.
This month, AutoNation will put this pink plate on any car sold or serviced. Plus, we'll make a donation to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation at the AutoNation Cure Bowl.
Current Nissan drivers get new Altimas just $16,900 or new Rogues only $19,495. Drive pink at AutoNation Nissan.
Meep, meep. It's time to kick off the savings with Coconut Creek Hyundai and save big with 0% financing or no payments for 90 days. Lease the all-new 2016 Elantra for only $59 a month. Only at Coconut Creek Hyundai, South Florida's largest volume Hyundai dealer.
Attention homeowners, most utility rebates are expiring as of September 30th. If you've even thought about a new air conditioner, turn to the experts at Lindstrom today. And don't lose your share of thousands of dollars in rebates on a new Carrier AC system.
Those guys.
The new comedy Life in Pieces premieres after The Big Bang Theory, CBS Tonight.
Welcome back on the Money Watch this morning. Many places around the United States are seeing the price of gas below $2 a gallon. Plus, Apple has removed malware-infected apps after its first security breach. CBS 4's Jill Wagner is joining us live this morning from the New York Stock Exchange with details. Jill, good morning.
Good morning, Walter. Apple's App Store suffered its first big cyber attack. Apple says it has now removed all known apps that were infected with malware that includes WeChat and Camcard. The hackers convinced app developers to use their infected software when creating the apps. The security firm Palo Alto Networks says hundreds of millions of users may have had their personal data exposed. Coca-Cola says it's going to fight a claim by the IRS that it owes more than $3 billion in federal taxes and interest at issue. How much Coke should report as taxable income in the U.S. from its overseas sales. The company says it has been following the same tax rate for 30 years. And prices at the gas pump keep falling. Many areas in the U.S. are now seeing $2 a gallon gas or lower. In Florida, the average is about $2.14. AAA says prices are typically their lowest during the fall and winter because fewer Americans take extended road trips. That leads to a decline in demand. Oil prices are also especially low right now because there's plenty of global supply. Walter.
Jill, we're happy anytime we can save a little bit of money, aren't we?
Absolutely. When you see prices that just keep falling, it's always a good thing.
All right, so this next one I love. Oreo apparently has a new flavor. Tell us about it.
Yeah, Oreo wants to take us back to the beach this fall. Its newest limited edition cookie flavor, toasted coconut. It's a vanilla cookie with coconut flavored cream, and it is made with real toasted coconut flakes. But Walter, if anyone wants it, it's not available everywhere and only a limited time. So go get them. All right, we'll look forward to seeing those on the shelves. Thank you very much for that report. We'll see you in the next hour.
I'll stick to the original Oreo.
I think I'm with you. That'll do it for CBS 4 This Morning at 5.
CBS 4 This Morning at 6 begins right now.
Next at 6, Pope Francis celebrates Mass in front of hundreds of thousands in Cuba and meets with former leader Fidel Castro. We have live team coverage on what's planned for today. Then, a Miami-Dade commissioner under arrest on charges of drunk driving while riding his motorcycle. And the Dolphins lose to the lowly Jacksonville Jaguars. Could this be an early sign of trouble? We're talking with Joe about it. Good morning, South Florida. It is 6 a.m. on this Monday, September 21st. I'm Walter McCullough.
And I'm Lauren Pastrana in for Ruta Shabanzi this morning. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll have a check on your traffic and weather in just a couple of minutes. But we begin with the Pope's historic trip to Cuba. Today, Pope Francis will begin his last full day on the island before heading to the United States. This morning, the Pope will fly to the eastern city of Holguín, where he will deliver Mass. Among those in attendance, Miami Archbishop Thomas Wensky.
And this comes after a busy Sunday for the Pope, which included a Mass before hundreds of thousands of people in Havana's Revolution Square.
CBS 4's Adriana Diaz begins our team coverage live from Havana. Adriana, good morning.
Good morning. On this last full day in Cuba, the Pope has already seen hundreds of thousands, like you mentioned, in yesterday's Mass, as well as another celebration for the young people of Cuba last night. Despite rain, thousands of young people welcomed Pope Francis like a rock star. Some climbed trees to get a better look. He spoke off the cuff at an event for Cuba's youth. 17-year-old Nirian Cabrera Rodriguez was there. What did you think of the Pope's speech?
Me encantó.
I loved it, she said. It blew me away. I felt like it was my mom or dad speaking to me. It was the Pope's last public stop on his first full day in Cuba. In the morning, he kissed babies and shook hands before an open-air Mass for an estimated 200,000. Later, 89-year-old Fidel Castro hosted Francis at his residence. In the 40-minute meeting, the two exchanged books and discussed global issues. Vatican spokesman Father Federico Lombardi.
The Pope was very happy about this meeting. Some of the members of the family of Fidel were present, and the conversation was informal.
The Pope is showing no signs of slowing down. He's in 3 cities today. Once he leaves Havana, he heads to Holguín, as you mentioned, where he will celebrate another public Mass. Then he moves on to Santiago de Cuba to visit a shrine for Cuba's patron saint. Live in Havana, Adriana Diaz, Walter Lauren, back to you.
Now, Adriana, we're hearing that there wasn't only excitement about the Pope's visit, but that there were protests taking place. What can you tell us about this?
We did hear that there were some people that were arrested at yesterday's public Mass. It appeared to be that they were handing out flyers, but it's unclear what those flyers said. Those people were apprehended by police and taken away. And it was at least 3 people. So that was one example that we were told. Also, in the morning at dawn, before Mass even started, some members of the Ladies in White, one of the politically active groups here, were arrested as well and detained in effect so that they could not attend the Mass.
All right, Adriana, thank you so much. Live from Havana for us this morning. We'll speak with you again in about another half hour.
Meanwhile, the Holy Father also met with Fidel Castro's brother, President Raul Castro. The two leaders met privately at the Palace of the Revolution for about 45 minutes. Raul Castro gave the pontiff a large crucifix made by a Cuban artist and a painting of the patron saint of Cuba.
Pope Francis then attended evening prayers with priests at the Havana Cathedral. The pontiff recited a homily and blessed the crowd during the celebration of Vespers. The Pope greeted several people inside the cathedral before walking outside to bless the crowds. And as we know, things work a little bit differently in Cuba compared to here in the United States. For those who want to voice opposition against the government, for example, and also for those in the media. CBS 4 anchor Rick Fulbaum is in Cuba covering the Pope's trip. He shows you how our crew experienced this firsthand.
Dissidents know they can be rounded up and detained, sometimes indefinitely. So these Cubans knew the risk they were taking when they rushed the Pope-mobile to try to give Francis their pro-democracy pamphlets. These are just a few of the ones who took the risk. The Pope-mobile stopped. Francis seemed to bless them before they tossed their pamphlets in the air. There are also reports that 20 members of the Ladies in White dissident group were arrested on their way to the Mass. But it was after the Mass that journalists got a taste of the Cuban police state.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Why are we being kept here? Why are we being kept here? You won't let us go. Is there some reason why we have to stay here and not be able to go work? Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Instead of letting us exit the press area so we could interview the pilgrims, we were prevented from leaving for 15 minutes.
All right, well, finally we were let go, so now we can come down after the papal Mass and we can come and find the pilgrims from Florida who we came here to talk to. The authorities have finally let us go do our job. In Havana, Cuba, Rick Fulbaum,
CBS 4 This Morning.
And a sense of excitement and spirituality filled churches and homes across South Florida yesterday as Pope Francis celebrated his first Mass in Cuba. The spiritual celebration had many not only watching but praying for the people's Pope as members of the community gathered at St. Brendan Catholic Church. Many hope Pope Francis's message will bring change not only in Cuba but around the world.
I think the Pope going to Cuba is the best thing that could happen. And I think the world is going to change.
Now, many support the Pope's visit to Cuba. Some Cuban Americans say it's too political. Although the Pope won't be making a stop in South Florida, many say that they will still track his trip in the United States.
And the Pope will leave Cuba tomorrow and head to the United States for his first ever trip here. Pope Francis will first visit Washington, D.C., where he will meet with President Obama. During his stay, he will visit the White House and make an address to Congress. The Pope will travel to New York City Thursday night.
And Friday morning, he will make an address to the United Nations General Assembly. He will lead a procession through Central Park and hold a Mass in Madison Square Garden.
And on Saturday, the Pope arrives in Philadelphia, where he will visit Independence Mall. He will also hold a prayer vigil with the World Meeting of Families, the largest meeting of Catholic families held every 3 years. Singers Aretha Franklin and Andrea Bocelli will perform, among others. Then on Sunday night, the Pope ends his trip to America and heads back to Rome. And keep it right here on CBS 4 and CBSMiami.com for continuing coverage of the Pope's trip to Cuba. We'll have another live report from Havana coming up at 6:30.
And we're following breaking news involving the trade embargo against Cuba. Officials tell the Associated Press this morning that the Obama administration is considering abstaining from the annual UN vote that condemns the embargo. If the administration abstains, it will mark the first time the U.S. has declined to take a stand against a UN resolution directly criticizing American law. President Obama has urged Congress to scrap the 54-year-old embargo since December when he announced normalizing diplomatic relations. Last year's UN vote against the embargo was 188-2. Only Israel joined the U.S.
6:07 right now. Let's get a look at your forecast. Meteorologist Lisette Gonzalez in to let us know what we can expect today and for the rest of the week. Lisette.
All right. Happy Monday, Lauren and Walter, and good Monday morning to all of you at home. A live view from our Biscayne camera. Miami right now dark and early. The sunrise at 7:09 a.m. and the radar is mainly dry except for some showers offshore over the Atlantic waters to the east of Broward County. So we'll have to see if those showers hold. Could see some showers popping up around Fort Lauderdale. 74 degrees in Kendall. Very comfy for this time of the morning. 78 in Miami, 79 in Fort Lauderdale, 80s down through the Keys, and the winds fairly calm or light, 3 to 5 miles per hour. Because of that, we do have reports of some patchy dense fog inland, and some stray showers will be possible later this morning as we head into the afternoon. Hot sunshine, highs soar to the low 90s. It'll feel more like the hundreds due to the humidity. Spotty storms will develop, a 30% chance of rain into the evening. Some scattered storms, most of them carried inland. We'll have more on a better chance of wet weather later this week in my complete forecast. Right now, Vanessa's off. We do have a check of your traffic, though, with Dean Muccio.
Yeah, thank you, Lisette. And we're looking at the Palmetto where traffic's starting to build Southwest 24th Street up to Flagler Street. This is actually looking north at the 75 interchange. You can see traffic's moving pretty well, but it certainly has gotten a lot heavier over the past 30 minutes or so. And things will certainly pick up as we head into rush hour. All right, this is 95 northbound right at the 595 interchange. Again, traffic moving really well. No major delays, no accidents to report at this check for Broward and Miami-Dade. Dean Muccio, CBS 4 Traffic.
Dean, thank you. Now at 6:09, Miami-Dade Commissioner Jose Pepe Diaz arrested for driving drunk. He was stopped in the Keys and police say he was speeding. CBS 4's Natalia Zaya is live outside the commissioner's home in West Miami-Dade. Natalia, good morning.
Good morning to you. There have been no signs of life here at Commissioner Pepe Diaz's home. The spokeswoman had said that he isn't planning to come home, and at least he hasn't so far since his arrest in Key West for DUI.
Key West police tell us they pulled over Miami-Dade County Commissioner Jose Pepe Diaz Saturday night. They say Commissioner Diaz was on his Harley-Davidson motorcycle going 74 miles an hour on a 30-mile-an-hour road. Diaz's bike toppled, they say, when he got off it because he didn't put out the kickstand. Police suspected the commissioner might be drinking, arrested him, and started their DUI investigation. Commissioner Diaz spent the night at the Monroe County Jail, leaving early Sunday. But his spokeswoman says he's not at his home in Sweetwater, despite cars in the driveway. Diaz did release this statement, saying, "Under advice of my legal counsel, I cannot discuss details at this time. I look forward to resolving this matter. In the meantime, I will continue serving my community and the residents of District 12 as I have for the last 24 years. I humbly ask for your patience at this time."
Pepe Diaz was elected to the Miami-Dade County Commission back in 2002, and during his time there, he's actually been on the front line of a lot of different ordinances and legislation that would protect people on the roadways, including drivers. At this point, we don't know whether we're going to hear from the commissioner himself. He's normally very media friendly. This is a very different circumstance for him. We do expect more details on his arrest later today when the Key West Police Department releases the arrest affidavit. Natalia Zaya, CBS 4 This Morning.
Natalia, thank you. Up next, the Dolphins go down in Jacksonville. Goldie is talking with Joe about that injury that led to some big problems for the Fins.
Also ahead, a deadly hit and run in Miami. Police have found the car involved in the crash. This morning, hear from a witness who followed the driver for several blocks.
Then, up in flames, a day on the water nearly ends in tragedy for one family.
Plus, what could be lurking inside cheese? Details behind a new warning out by the feds this morning.
Uh-oh, I love cheese, especially in the morning with some eggs, some toast, as you're getting ready to head out the door, South Florida. Happy Monday. We're waking up with the upper 70s, 80s, but we are seeing the low 70s across Central Florida and the cooler upper 60s around the Big Bend and the Panhandle. So fall officially kicking off Wednesday. Will we see some cooler air here? I'll have details in my complete forecast.
You'll get another refill of your coffee and come on back with us. You're watching CBS 4 This Morning. We'll be right back.
41% of employees spend less than 15 minutes researching their health benefit options. By understanding some basic insurance terms, you'll be able to make informed decisions. A deductible is the amount you'll pay each year before your plan starts paying. Copay is the money you'll spend when visiting your doctor. Coinsurance is when you pay a share of the payment made against a claim, and out-of-pocket max is the most you'll pay for covered services.
CBS Health Watch is sponsored by Cigna. Together all the way.
The model year changeover event is on at Lexus of North Miami. Your choice, Lexus ES or RX, $300 a month. Your choice, Lexus CT or IS, $200 a month. Only at Lexus of North Miami.
Price, service, selection, Subaru of Pembroke Pines.
It's Subaru of Pembroke Pines model year-end sales event. Lease a new Subaru BRZ just $199 a month. Complimentary maintenance included. Subaru of Pembroke Pines model year-end sales event going on now.
Airboat tours, birthday parties, and more. Everglades Holiday Park.
It's time to kick off the savings with Coconut Creek Hyundai and save big with 0% financing or no payments for 90 days. Lease the all-new Sonata for only $79 a month. Only at Coconut Creek Hyundai, South Florida's largest volume Hyundai dealer.
It's the season's most impressive drive. Hyundai's #1 picks are all on clearance. 2015 Sonatas for just $149 a month lease or 0 down. 2016 Elantras lease for $139 a month. Get 0% APR for 75 months or up to $6,000 cash back. All with America's best warranty. #1 picks now on clearance. 2015 Sonatas lease for $149 a month. 2016 Elantras lease for $139 a month. Save thousands this week.
It's time to kick off the savings with Coconut Creek Hyundai and save big with 0% financing or no payments for 90 days. Lease the all-new 2016 Elantra for only $59 a month. Only at Coconut Creek Hyundai, South Florida's largest volume Hyundai dealer.
Price, service, selection, Subaru of Pembroke Pines.
It's Subaru of Pembroke Pines model year-end sales event. Lease a new Subaru Forester just $125 a month. Complimentary maintenance included. Subaru of Pembroke Pines model year-end sales event going on now.
Your luxury experience starts here at Lexus of North Miami.
Welcome back, South Florida. Good Monday morning. Hope you enjoyed the weekend. There was a mixed bag of weather, even some storms last night. This morning, mainly quiet as we look live from our Biscayne Bay camera, Miami. The sun up at 7:09 a.m. And as we check out the radar, here's the good news. Most of South Florida is in the clear, except for a few little showers around Port Everglades and Fort Lauderdale. We are to the south of a frontal boundary. We're seeing a few areas of low pressure around Carolinas and also around the Gulf Coast states. There's plenty of rain across the southeast. If you're headed in that direction, could see some delays. And we're waking up with a comfortable 70s. Look at that, 74 for you in Kendall. Miami 78, 79 in Fort Lauderdale, 80s down through the Keys. And the winds fairly calm or light, anywhere from 3 to 5 miles per hour in Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Because of that, we are hearing reports from the National Weather Service of some patchy dense fog well inland. But as you can see, most of the metro areas right now, as we check in on the visibilities, looking okay. I'll continue to monitor it and keep you updated. Future radar models indicating that throughout the morning could see a few stray showers. However, a better chance of the rain popping up around lunchtime, 2 p.m. We're seeing a lot of green there as we head into the afternoon. Even around 3 p.m. could see some downpours in spots. A 30% chance of rain today, so still want to keep the umbrellas handy. Then the bulk of the activity will be well inland across the interior sections as we head into 4 or 5 p.m. But then once again tonight, some areas may have to contend with some wet weather. So bottom line, it's still the rainy season. You know how it goes. Keep the umbrellas close by, and you'll even need that rain gear as we head into the middle and the end of the week, even more so. So as we look at the moisture forecast today, tomorrow, lots of red indicating some relatively drier stablers compared to last week, which was a washout. Now, as we get into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, a lot more green indicating a juicier, more unstable atmosphere as we head towards the end of the week. Look at this, nice cool temperatures around the northern tier of the country with 50s in Boston, the Big Apple, Minneapolis, 60s for Atlanta and Memphis, but then 70s in Texas and New Orleans in the tropics. We're watching Tropical Storm Ida, which is about 1,000 miles east of the Lesser Antilles. Not a threat to us, not a threat to land, could become a Category 1 hurricane later this week, and that's it in the tropics, thankfully. But of course, we're in the peak of hurricane season, and we'll have to continue to watch it. For today, highs in the low 90s. Spotty storms around, could see a few downpours. Boaters sees 2 to 3, a light chop on the bays, and tonight we will see scattered storms, 78 degrees. So the first official day of fall on Wednesday. However, we are not going to see a cool down. We'll see temperatures in the upper 80s, so not as hot, but a better chance of storms later this week. Vanessa's off. Let's get a check of your traffic right now with Dean Muccio.
Thank you, Lisette. And we're taking a look at 95 northbound and southbound. Northbound on your right side of your screen, southbound on the left side. You can see southbound starting to pick up a little bit as folks get ready to head into downtown Miami. And things will continue to pick up as we move into the main rush hour for this Monday morning. Cypress Creek running east to west and west to east in the middle of the screen. But for delays and accidents, we really don't have a whole lot in Broward County, 75, and of course, the Sawgrass and 595 all moving up to speed. Let's take a peek now at the Palmetto at 75 northbound exit on the right side of your screen, and southbound traffic jumping onto the Palmetto on the far left, and it's starting to build there. So we're finding it's a little bit slow at this point on the Palmetto southbound as well. That's a look at traffic, CBS 4.
Dean, thanks. Take a look at this. A dramatic scene in the water. Flames engulfed a yacht off the coast of Galveston, Texas, turning a family fishing trip into a life or death ordeal. It all started with a smoking engine 15 minutes after the family left shore. Good Samaritans came to the rescue and saved the young boy and his family who were on board at the time. Thankfully, no one was hurt.
Now it's time for Talking with Joe, our daily chat with WQAM radio host Joe Rose. And this morning, it's all about football. Here's Goldie and Joe with more. Joe is fired up. So, Goldie, he is all yours.
Yeah, Lauren, the word we used was disgruntled when we spoke to him last hour. So, Joe, I'm going to start with something a little bit positive, even though the Dolphins lose this game. Hey, Ryan Tannehill, you know, he proved again, and number one, how tough he is taking those hits. But he had a heck of a game yesterday in many fashions, didn't he?
You know, Goldie, I looked at his game yesterday, considering they didn't have a running game. Heck, he was a leading rusher in the game. Second of all, the pass protection, he had no time. I thought he played really well. Loved the way he moved around the pocket, keep a couple of plays alive, got rid of the ball a couple of times instead of taking big sacks. I thought he did a lot of good things in this game, and when he did have time, I thought he played a lot better than he did in week 1. Was pretty accurate with the game during the game and throughout. But, boy, at the end of the game, had no time to throw the football. But, yeah, Ryan Tannehill, though, can't do it by himself. It doesn't matter how much money you have. The offensive line got to play better than that yesterday.
And they're going to have to protect him better to get him through a season. We know he's tough. They lost starting left tackle Brandon Albert again during this game. It was a hamstring to see him walking off. Where do they go from here up front? How could they patch this thing together?
Hey, they got to take the guys, whether it's Jason Fox, if he has to play, or Brandon Albert seemed to feel like he could play this week, although I hate playing doctor after all these guys say all these things after the game, and they're going to be super sore today. But, hey, Goldie, the Dolphins front office, the management team made a decision. These are the 8 guys or 9 guys we're going to go with. We know guys get injured during the year. It's about depth. It's not just about starters. We knew that. That's why we play preseason football. It's about 53, not 22. So you got to get this group of guys, and if they're not good enough, they will hold you back from being a 500 team maybe, because they better play a lot better than they did with a lot more passion. And you talk about getting dominated. The only guy happy today is Jared Odrick, former Miami Dolphin, who just dominated on the line of scrimmage yesterday for Jacksonville.
Yeah, he was pretty jacked up after that win also. And, you know, injury is such a big factor, Joe. We see it every single week. And the big news yesterday in the league, Tony Romo takes this bad hit, and he's going to be gone for about 2 months with a broken clavicle. One of the big stars in the league gone.
Well, it's tough for fantasy football lovers and Dallas Cowboy fans to lose Tony Romo, who really plays well. But I will say this, they're going to find a way to win. They're in the same boat as everybody else. There are going to be a bunch of injuries, and I know that's as big as we've had in the league when you lose a starting quarterback goal. But listen, that's part of the game, man. And they know they're going to get him back probably in December. He'll be back for the end of the year. They just got to find a way to go out and win. They still go in even after losing their quarterback. They get a win in Philadelphia. They're 2-0, and it's just a matter of gold. It goes back to what I said before. And I know quarterback's a huge loss, but sometimes your backups, they got to play, and they got to step up, and they got to be ready to go. But that is a tough one to go with Dez Bryant, no question about it, in Dallas. You don't beat them now, it's going to be tough because they're going to be a darn good team late in the year.
You know, seeing the injuries all around the league. All right, Joe, we'll talk to you in about a half hour. We'll talk some Hurricanes football next time, okay?
Okay, go.
Trying to depress you today. At least they won. I mean, that's the key with the Canes.
Those cardiac Canes giving everyone a little heart attack at the end of that game.
That was a wild game, and Joe's going to talk to Al Golden on radio, so in about a half hour we'll get the thoughts of what the coach said.
And it's going to be good based on his reaction.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it was a game where they had it, and they almost blew it. They wound up winning it, but a lot of Canes fans are already unhappy with some of the coaching. Saturday did not help the case.
All right. Thanks so much, Goldie. Talk to you soon.
All right. On the Health Watch this morning, a new outbreak involving a potentially deadly bacteria. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is tracking listeria cases from 9 states that sent 24 people to the hospital. Most patients have reported eating soft cheeses in the month before getting sick. Half of the people affected ate cheese distributed by Karoon Dairies, which has since made voluntary recalls.
Time right now is 6:23. Coming up, campaign 2016.
Donald Trump is losing ground with voters while another Republican candidate has made significant gains since the last GOP debate. The results of a new poll straight ahead.
But first, a look at the big winners from last night's Primetime Emmy Awards and how actress Viola Davis made history. CBS 4 This Morning. We'll be right back.
Talkin' with Joe on CBS 4 is sponsored by your South Florida Chevy dealers. Chevy Silverado, made with high-strength steel for high-strength dependability.
Which truck brand do you think offers best-in-class HD towing, best V8 horsepower, and has Motor Trend's 2015 Truck of the Year?
Ram.
Chevy.
What do you think?
A Ford.
Oh.
Here's the answer. That's the Chevy Silverado HD, the Chevy Silverado, and the Chevy Colorado.
Chevy.
It's Truck Month. Now qualified buyers get 0% financing for 60 months. Plus find your bonus tag and get $4,000 cash allowance on select Silverado 1500 crew cabs in stock. See your South Florida Chevy dealer.
Just released, the Florida Public Service Commission approved to eliminate most of the current air conditioning rebates as of September 30th. If you've even thought about a new Carrier air conditioning system, turn to the experts at Lindstrom today so you don't lose your share of thousands of dollars in rebates.
Yeah, I love those guys.
Price, service, selection, Lexus of Pembroke Pines.
Exhilaration comes standard at Lexus of Pembroke Pines. Right now, lease a new Lexus IS 250 only $200 a month. At Lexus of Pembroke Pines, exhilaration comes standard every day.
Mix and match any two. Big Mac or Quarter Pounder with cheese. Just $5.
Where in Miami can you choose from over 600 new BMWs starting from under $8,000? Nowhere else but Bremen BMW.